Hi, welcome to our channel.
I hit dead on with it, Got the new, sort of new, not so new now I guess, Glock 43X. Glock announced this, I think, about mid-January, and now that SHOT Show's going on, there's lots and lots of videos of it coming up. I got mine a few days ago, and I've been shooting it a pretty good bit in that amount of time, and I'm not really doing a review. This is just going to kind of be an overview of it, just, you know, my opinions of it. I'm not going to go into the technical specs like the barrel length and all that. Any of that you can just read on Glock's website, and you know, trigger pull and all that is pretty much just standard stuff. I'm just going to go over some of the basic stuff, and then I'm also going to compare it to some other guns that would be kind of in the same category as this one. Some not so much, but just to give people some ideas. I know when I ordered this, I really wasn't sure what to expect as far as size. It's kind of in between. Like there's not exactly something like it on the market, so it's anyway, just try to give somebody some insight on the size. But overall, it is clear. By the way, everything, I'm going to show you quite a few guns. Everything here is completely clear. Everything is safety checked. There's no loaded ammo on the table, nothing like that. Anyway, just start off. It's 10 round. It comes with two 10 round flush fit magazines. It is a single stack of sorts. I kind of would call it like a stack and a half. I mean, they stack in there straight, but it's bigger than most single stack magazines, but it's definitely smaller than any double stack. 10 rounds. The slide pretty much is just a standard Glock 43 slide. It's got the coating. It's the same coating that is on the 19X. I cannot remember that off the top of my head. I will add it in. I think it's, well, I can't remember, but it's the same coating that's on the 19X. They just did it in the silver color. The model that I opted to get just has the plain Jane Glock sights that I definitely will be changing out. I've actually already ordered a set of Ameriglow sights that will go on here with a U-notch in the rear and then a yellow in the front. I don't like these sights on any Glock, but I still prefer to buy it with these sights, and that way I can just put my choice. But anyway, so that's the way I bought it. It's got the kind of tapered front here. Like a lot of the Gen 5s. It's got front slide serrations. It's pretty typical trigger. The trigger feels, I'll pull it like this so you can see it. To me, it just feels like a Gen 5 trigger, which I actually like. Pretty typical. You know, just kind of, the odd thing about this one is the size. It's just kind of a size all of its own. So what I'm going to do here is, for comparison, I'll show you the Glock 43. So here is this is my 43. It's stippled. I like stippling. There's nothing on the market to me that has enough texturing for me. Now I know some people it's too aggressive, and I do carry it inside the waistband, but I still like aggressive texture. So that's my Glock 43 is stippled. But that's the Glock 43 with the 6 round mag, and you can see it there compared. So it is definitely bigger. But here you do have 10 rounds versus here 6 rounds. Now let me change this mag out. Here is a Glock 43 with a +1 pinky extension. So 7 and 10. And then this is for all the people that say this is nothing more than a Glock 43 with a longer grip. This will prove that point. So you can see they're exactly even on the grip. So this is the Glock 43 with a 8 round magazine. So it's a 6 round with a +2 extension. And this is the 43X with the 10 round. So you know, if you're the type of person that likes to carry with that extended mag in your 43, then the 43X definitely is a good option. Now, while I've got it here, you can also look at the thickness. So you can tell the original 43 is definitely thinner in the grip than the 43X, but the slides are identical. And I will illustrate that right now. Take the magazine out. So I wouldn't probably fire it like this. I don't think it would hurt anything. Let me get the right one. But I don't think it would hurt a thing. But I did this right off the bat just for comparison. So this is my standard 43 frame. This is the one I stippled. And here's the 43X slide. Goes right on. So vice versa. You can put the original 43 slide on the 43X frame. The slides are identical on the guns. So you can see that slide goes on. Perfect. Now I'll show you one difference before I put them back together. You can see where the frame's off. You can kind of see the difference. So length of the frame is the same in that regard. Obviously the 43X on this side where my finger is moving is thicker. And then you can really see it there in the mag well. So the 43X is definitely thicker. And then let me show you the magazine. So here's a 6-round Glock 43 mag versus a 10-round 43X. So you can see it's a lot thinner. And then here is the 8-round 43 mag versus the 10-round 43X. You can see they're almost exactly the same length, but the 43X is holding 10 more, or 2 more rounds, I'm sorry, for a total of 10 plus 1. Magazines are not interchangeable. So 43 mag just loosely fits versus this one won't go in at all. So let me get everything put back to its proper place. And I've been shooting this thing since I've got it. I've put about 300 rounds through it so far, which is definitely not enough to really be like a review or anything. But I've had a grand total of 0 malfunctions. And I've shot several different types of hollow points. Obviously lots of ball ammo. I've shot 115 grain Remington, 115 grain Winchester, 115 grain Fiocchi, and Federal. I've tested 115 grain Winchester hollow points. I've tested 125 grain Monarch hollow points, and then I have tested my preferred carry load, which is 124 grain HST. No malfunctions. I've tested both mags back and forth. Perfect function. So as far as that goes, that's that. But anyway, that was it compared to a 43. Now let me show you I'm going to put a mag in it and show it next to a 19. So I'm going to point these kind of toward myself, but they are clear. So you can see the 19 here on the left, and this is the 43X. So I've got you in close. Let's see here. For comparison, that's where the 43X falls. So if you wanted to look at it in that regard, you basically have like a small, medium, and large frame now from Glock. So you've got the 43 here, then you move up to the 43X, it's slightly thicker, and then you move up to the standard Glock frame like a 19. Now obviously the 43 is much shorter than the 43X. Now as far as grip length, you can see right there it compares perfectly with a 19. It may be just a hair shorter, but it's not much. So it is it's, you know, equally comparable to a 19 as far as grip length, but it is definitely thinner. And I'll show you the slides here from the top. You can see the difference in thickness there. So it's a let's see if I can get all 3 of these in. If that tells you anything, like I said, you can just 43 here and 19 here, and then the 43X in the center. It's just a dead in between. So if you're the type of person that the 43 is a little bit too small and the grip is too thin, I mean the 43 is very, very snappy, but you have a hard time concealing the 19 because it's kind of on that threshold of being a full size. I mean it's not a full size, but it's close. Then this might be something to consider. I definitely like the fact that even when you put the 8-round mag in the 43, it's the same height as the 43X. So a lot of people carry these with +2s. Well, I think that is this would definitely be an upgrade to go to this. So I think that's definitely a good point. Anyways, let me roll something here other than some Glocks. I'm going to move the 19 to the side for now, and I'm going to keep the 43 out here. Try to keep everything straight. So let's see. I'll show the Glock 26. So a 43 and Glock 26 are real comparable. They're single stack versus double stack, but in every other regard, they're about the exact same length. So I just want to show that this is a flush fit 10 rounds. So a lot of people would compare. Both of these guns are 10 rounds. So you can see the 26 there is definitely shorter, but it is, it being a double stack, it's got the frame more like a 19, so it's considerably thicker. So it's kind of a personal preference there. If you want that real short grip and you don't mind how fat a 26 is, then that might be a better choice. But if you want you don't mind a longer grip and you like the thinness, something that's going to stay closer to your body, then the 43X might be your gun. I've carried 26 for a long time, probably more than I carried any other gun. I still like it. I've actually moved to a different carry gun now, which I'll get to in a minute, but it still, for now, is always my standby. If something happens or I have a problem with any gun or anything and I have to go back and default to a carry gun, it is always this 26, which is a Gen 4 with True Glow TFOs. I carry it with a flush fit 10 round, and then I carry it with a 12 round for a backup. And I'll show, for comparison, there's a 12 round mag in the 26 compared once again to the Glock 43X. So you got more taper here on the 26, but you can see you're getting close to the same size. Obviously this is a 12 round, but it is considerably thicker. Lot more thicker there. So it's pros and cons to both. So there's the 26. I'm going to try to roll in some videos toward the end of all these guns just lined up and let you draw some conclusions. I'll just put everything in one frame and just do some pan shots of it. But I just want to go through each one and show you each one first and just let you draw some opinions. So here is a Springfield XDS. Now this particular one is chambered in 45, but 45 ACP. But if you get an XDS in 9mm, the dimensions, every aspect of the gun is the same. So for reference purposes, I'm probably just going to refer to this as a 9mm XDS. I'm going to refer to 9mm capacity, even though this one is a 45. Just so I'm going to pretend this is a 9mm. So there it is next to an XDS. So this being, if this was a 9mm XDS, it would be a 6 round capacity. So it would definitely be shorter, but it would be, in this case, it would be with a 6 round versus a 10. Then, if you went to the next mag up, you would now have a 7 round XDS, which, if this was a 9mm, you'll notice it is now completely flush. So if you carry a XDS in 9mm and you carry that first extension, it is exactly, perfectly the same length as the 43X. And so that would be considered a 7 round in the 9. And then if you went up again and you went to the 8 round XDS, you'll notice that it is now longer than the 43X. So, like I said, this is a 45, but pretending this is a 9, this would be essentially a 8 round XDS 9mm, and it is a good ½ inch longer than the 10 round Glock 43X. So that's pretty impressive. I know a lot of people are complaining because this thing does have a fairly long grip compared to like something like this XDS. I mean, it's obviously a lot longer, but in defense of it, for the length of the grip, it has acceptable capacity. Now, I know there's other stuff on the market like the 365 from Sig, which I have one of those on the table I'm going to compare to in a minute. But other than the 365, I think it compares very favorably. Because like I said, in the case of the XDS, this would be an 8 round mag in a 9mm, and it is longer than the 43X is with a 10 round. And I'm pretty much seeing that across the board when it comes to single stacks. Now, if you bring in something like, the 19, yes, it is exactly the same length as the 19. The 19 holds 15, the 43X holds 10, but it's thinner. So, I really do think, a lot of people think they don't understand why they made it. Thought it was an odd size, but I think it is I think it's a great size, and I don't think it's going to be for everybody. I'm not sure it's going to be a carry gun that I'm actually going to use 100% of the time, but I definitely think it's one that I will carry from time to time. I shoot a lot of Glocks. I'm definitely not biased toward Glock as far as they're not the only gun I like. I like all of them. I've carried a little bit of everything, but I do have a lot of Glocks, and I do enjoy Glocks. You just can't get around how reliable they are. And, you know, I'm not a Glock fanboy, but, you know, it is what it is. So next one I'll compare it to is this is kind of a different, you know, world. I know this is striker fire, this is a hammer fired gun, but I know it's still kind of the same category. This is a Sig 938. Like I said, everything is unloaded. Now, pretty significant size difference there. You can see the Sig being a 6 round, once again, and the 43X being a 10. So yes, you got a little more grip, but, you know, going from here to here, you're picking up 4 rounds. So I still say that's exceptional. And then I'll put the 7 round mag in the Sig, and it's still a little shorter, but once again, you've only got 7 rounds, and if you can tolerate that little bit of grip length, you still got a really, really thin gun here that hangs close to your body when you're concealing it inside the waistband or appendix, and it holds 10 rounds. So anyway, let me move this Sig to the side and bring in a different Sig. So here is the Sig P365. And there's a lot of controversy around this gun. A lot of people have had problems with them. A lot of people absolutely love them. Some people really thought that the 43X was going to be competitive to this. In some ways, I guess it is. I mean, they do both hold 10 rounds. They're both 9mm. But size-wise, there's definitely not really a comparison. I actually don't have my flush fit mag here with me. But this is the 10-round mag in the Sig 365, and everything here is unloaded. This is the 10-round mag, but it does have the pinky extension. Okay, so just keep that in mind, because that is how I carry it. And I'll tell you now, this is my current EDC. I carry a Glock 19 as I guess you would say a backup EDC. But as far as my actual EDC that I carry every day, this is it right now. And I'm carrying it with the pinky extended mag. I carry it inside the waistband and these little Fox holster. Same holster that I've done reviews on. I mention them all the time. I still love these holsters. Still don't have a problem with them. But that's my current carry gun. And then I carry the 12-round mag in my pocket. So I carry a total of 22 rounds. And I know there's a lot of people having problems or have had problems with these. Mine has not. I have kept up with how many rounds I have put through this gun, more than I have with any other gun. As far as I know roughly how many rounds I put through a given gun, but this one I have kept up with it. Each round I have exactly 1,112 rounds, I believe, through this gun. I'll roll in a picture of it right now of the little paper. It's very unscientific, but it's the way that I have kept up my rounds. Every time I shoot at my range, I just simply mark it out and then write down how many rounds I have through it then. And that's how I have kept up with it up to this point. And like I said, it's very unscientific, but it works. So that's that. But anyway, back to the comparison. So 10 round pinky extended. Like I said, a lot of people thought this was going to be competition for the 365, but it is, there is a significant difference. So, like I said, this is even with the pinky extension, which I have medium-sized hands, and I can get a full grip pretty much with this. And you've got 10 rounds there, and here's the 43X with 10 rounds. So the Sig is much smaller. Let me put the Sig 12 round, and this is pretty impressive. You've got to give it to Sig. Even with the 12 round, it is still smaller than the Glock 43X. Now, the thickness of the guns are almost identical as well. So, this video is about the 43X. I'm not cutting the 43X. Like I said, I'm going to put night sights on it. I am going to carry it. I've been carrying it, on and off since I got it, just a little. I really don't like carrying anything until I get night sights for it. That's just me. But, if you're wanting the ultimate small gun that still has respectable capacity, I still think the 365 is a good choice. Now, I have a sample set of 1. This is it. This is the only one I've ever shot. This is the only one I've ever had. And it has been perfectly reliable for me. With hollow points, every kind of ammo. I actually, because of the bad rap these things got, I did not start carrying it until I hit about 500 rounds. And then I have been carrying it and shooting it on and off, hollow points, everything, and it has been perfect. So, going forward, this is still my carry gun. Like I said, at any time, for any reason, if I have to default back to something, it is always my Glock 26. I was carrying the Glock 26 when I went to the 365. So, you know, I carried a 10 and 12 round mag with the Glock 26. When I went to the 365, I went to a gun that was considerably smaller and lighter, and I still was able to maintain a 10 and 12 round magazine. So, you know, me personally, I like the 365. I know a lot of people don't, and hey, whatever, but that's just my opinion of that. So, I said all that to say this. If you can wipe the 365 out of your memory and pretend that gun was never made, and don't compare this to the 365, I think this is a really, really good option. What I mean is, like I showed before, if you put, you know, 8 round Glock 43, same size as a 10 round Glock 43X. Okay, then we go over here, and I'm going to grab the XDS. There's an XDS with a 7 round mag, same size as the Glock 43X. So I don't have a shield. I'm actually not the biggest fan of shield. They're excellent guns. That's just personal preference. But I have seen numerous pictures, and the shield with the 8 round magazine is the same size as the 43X. So this would be a good comparison. So this is the 43 versus the 43X here, but the shield with its 8 round mag is also the same size. So for anything, you know, other than the 365, and I hate to say it that way, but size, capacity, and weight, it does not outdo the 365. If you like the 365 and you have one and you've had good luck with it, I think you're going to be happy with it. But at every other of these guns, the XDS, the shields, size, weight, and capacity, I think it really compares favorably for the 43X. You know, especially, like I said, if you don't mind having that little bit of extra grip length. But if that extra grip length is important to you, then something like the 43 might be a good choice, or the 365, because, I mean, now this is old news, but I mean, the 43, I've got the extended foreplate here. I'll tell you what, to make it fair, I'll put this. So this is a 7 round extended mag for the 43, and it's a little bit bigger. So you got a 7 round Glock 43, and it's a little bit bigger than the 10 round 365. I know this comparison has been made way too many times already. That's why I didn't make a direct video about the 365. There's so much controversy over it. You know, I always try to do videos on stuff that's different. That was my whole point in this video. There's lots of videos of the 43X being compared to lots of different guns, but I kind of wanted just to compare them to a couple different guns at once. And that's what I did here. And oh, and one more side note about the 43X, it does fit in standard 43 holsters. So I did carry the 43 for a good bit at one time, and when I carried the 43, I carried the 7 round pinky extension, and then I carried the 8 round extra mag. Because with that pinky extension, it's very tight, and that pinky will fall off, but I can barely get that pinky on there. And like I said, that's my 43 holster. It's you can tell it's very worn. And I was glad that when the 43X, when I got it, it fits perfectly in the same holster. And just for reference, it's not made for it and it doesn't fit perfect, but I've actually been carrying the 365 in my 43 holster. So that's just, you know, food for thought there. But anyway, that's pretty much it. I'm sure there's a lot I didn't cover. Like I said, I've had a grand total of 0 malfunctions through this gun. You know, it does come with the 2 mags. I probably already mentioned that. Trigger feels very Gen 5 like to me. This is a Gen 4 26, and this is a Gen 4 19. This is one I have that I stippled and removed the finger grooves. And the Gen 4 triggers versus the Gen 5s on a lot of the other guns, I think the Gen 5 trigger is better. The Gen 4 has a more discerned wall, where the Gen 5 has more of the trigger just kind of rolls through. And I actually prefer that just roll, where the trigger is just a nice, consistent roll. So this feels more Gen 5 to me. The front serrations are, you know, they're just what you would expect. They're just the same as what you have here. Then they also have another model of this pistol, the Glock 48. I did not opt to get that one. I prefer this one. It is essentially the same gun. You've just got a little bit more length here. It's the same frame. It's just a little bit more length. So you'll get a little bit better velocity if you're worried about that little bit of extra velocity. And you'll definitely get some increased sight radius. And then on this one, you have the 4 serrations on the front. On the 48, I believe you get a 5th one. You get one more. The front serrations, I know that's a big deal too. People make a big deal about press check. I actually do press check. When I put my gun on, I chamber around like that, and it's just a mental thing. People say it's stupid, and I really don't care. But me personally, I just want to physically open it up. I want to see that round in the chamber, make sure the slide goes home, and then I put it in my holster. That's just me. Granted, I carried a 26 more than I've carried probably any one consistent handgun, and I can do press checks just as well with it without front serrations. But that's neither here nor there. I think on any modern day pistol, there's just absolutely no reason not to have them. If you're just scared to death of press checks and you can't stand them, then what does it hurt just to have them sitting there? It's doing nothing. I think it adds a little bit of looks to the gun. But anyway, that's just my opinion. So I think that's it for now. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I would appreciate it if you like and subscribe. I'm going to roll in some shooting footage of that gun that I actually took this afternoon. I pretty much shot exclusively hollow points through it today to make sure that they would function, and then when I got through doing that, I went back and shot some more ball ammo, and it's been perfect. I've carried this gun to and from and around the range a little bit. Like I said, 365 is my gun. I had to unload it before this video. When this video ends, I'm going to reload it, and I'll have it right back on tomorrow. But I definitely am going to give this gun a fair shake. As soon as I get the night sights on and, test those out, and I'm going to get a few hundred more rounds through it just to make myself feel better. I mean, it's a Glock, but I still want to, I want to at least get a few hundred rounds through it to confirm reliability. And I am going to give it a chance. I'm not going to say that I won't carry it. I am going to at least try to carry it for a while, for a few weeks, maybe a few months. But as of right now, I feel like I'm going to probably end up going right back to the Sig. I just really like the size of the Sig. And even though I can get a really good grip on this, I will say to do it like mag changes and things, because I always carry an extra mag, it's definitely easier with this because you're getting a full grip on the actual frame, where something like the 365, I'm gripping on the bottom of the mag. So when I go to do a mag change with this gun, I kind of have to break my grip to clear the magazine. Where this gun, when I get ready to do a mag change, I just hit the button. I don't have to move my hand. So it's definitely quicker mag changes, but it's a trade-off. This is a little more concealable, and I see myself staying with this for now. I won't say indefinitely, but definitely for now. But I am going to give this a try. I'm going to kind of make myself carry it for a time just to see. I pretty much started off concealed carrying. Well, I started off with a Car CW, but I probably carried a 19 was kind of my first real carry gun. So I still carry a 19 from time to time. I still think the 19 is kind of a do-it-all gun. You can put it on a outside the waistband holster, you can wear it out at the range, or you can conceal it. But this is a good size, and I still personally, even though the 365 is a lot smaller, I find it to still be a little bit more shootable than even the 43X. I mean, the standard 43 is known to be snappy. The 365 is snappy. Pretty much every gun on this table is snappy to a certain degree. But for whatever reason, some kind of black magic or something, to me, the 365 is less snappy than the 43X. I can shoot them both about as good. I shoot a lot of Glocks, so I can shoot them both favorably. Definitely comfortable enough that I feel like I can make any necessary shots for concealed carry. But overall, I do like shooting the 365. The one thing the 43X definitely wins for me on, though, is I can manipulate and do mag changes far better with the 43X. I've always been slow with the 365. But anyway, that's about it. I do overall, though, I definitely would recommend it. I mean, if you pick one up and you like it, it's a good do-it-all size handgun. I think this will make an excellent purse gun. My fiance carries a regular, not this 43, but she carries a regular 43. And because it's harder for females to carry, on their body, but just because of their dress, she carries pretty much exclusively in her purse, which is fine. That's definitely better than not having it at all. And I think this would be a good choice because she carries, this. It's just sitting in her purse. She can go to this. I don't know the exact numbers, but it's only a few ounces heavier. She gets a much better grip, and she's increased her capacity. In the past, she has tried to carry a 19 in her purse, and it was always a little too heavy. She's not fond of a 26 because of the way the grip is. It pinches her fingers really bad. So I think this might be a good happy medium, and I may even try to see if she wants to try to carry that in her purse for a while and see how that works. Like I said, I think it would kind of bridge the gap between both of them. But that's pretty much it. I'm gonna line all these up and take some slow-mo videos and close-ups of all of them, and I'm gonna roll in some range footage at the end, and drop your questions and any of your criticism, constructive or not, in the comments. I don't really care. I'll just read them for the fun of it. And thanks for watching. See you next time.